Hey guys, welcome back to Girls Uncensored.
So, today our topic of discussion is going to be the gap between men and women. So, basically, there's been, I guess you can kind of feel the tension that men and women have with each other. So, we're gonna kind of dissect the tension between men and women. Why is it there, and what we can actively do about it. Um, so, do you even think that there's a gap between men and women?
Of course.
What is that gap? Like, where,
I
where do you
mean, I
think
feel
it
like
goes?
there's so many parts of that gap. Like the gap is so wide at this point that you can't even jump across it. First of all, women's rights just happened, 1980s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Men still get paid more than women. There's feminism, there's sexism, all of that. So it's like too much to just we gotta hone in on one. I feel like
Mm,
what do you feel like is the biggest one,
I feel
like the
like
biggest divide?
for me, I feel like the biggest divide is not even something that's financial. It's not even things that like are like really prominent in
Mm-hmm.
like society and like their values. I feel like I mean, well, yes, actually, let me take that back. But I feel like our biggest issue is that like we just have a lack of understanding in each other. Like we don't understand each other.
Of
We
course,
don't
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
understand the
yeah.
way that another species, I guess you could say,
From a
another,
woman's
yeah,
perspective,
basically, yeah, how
different
they
breed.
function.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't understand your opposite, like I guess that lack of awareness would cause a lot of
Yeah.
like things to kind of dissipate in relationships, friendships, just overall conversations and connections. And I also think that patriarchy plays like a significantly big role in both women and men. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if we were to dismantle patriarchy and that whole idea of like men being strong and able and willing and like a man operating in a certain sense, and
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
I feel like that is detrimental to men in themselves because we already teach men from a young age to not be emotional, to not, cry, to be a leader and be all of that. Like most men grow up and they don't even have anything to emulate that in their life other than their mothers. So it's just like that's a gap in itself already and it creates tension between the mother and the son.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have that. And then obviously patriarchy just fucks with women in general because you're telling me I can't basically just exist and be a woman in my own skin. A man is always going to be better and above me. Like, like it's like on both sides of the spectrum. It's super fucked up.
And I want to go back to what you said about the friendships, because there's always a dynamic and always an assumption that men and women cannot be friends.
Right. And
Why
I
can't
hate
men and
that.
women be friends?
And you know something that I realized too when I was on the train?
Mm.
It was like a random ass thought. I was thinking about like friendships between, male and female in POC groups. We don't really have that unless they're like gay or something. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Unless they're gay, it's not really like a yeah, but it's like in white communities and white spaces and friend groups, men and women they mingle all the time. They have like guy friends, they have girlfriends, they hang out, they like what the fuck is the difference? Like, you know what I mean? Like why is that? Why is it that our relationships are way more sexualized? And it's like even if, let's say we're in a committed relationship
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
have girlfriends or whatever, you gonna feel the type of way with me hanging out with them. Never understood that. Like I don't
I just feel like at some point it's either the male wants the female in a non-relationship friendship way, or
mm-hmm,
vice versa. I feel like how you mentioned like the white communities, I
mm-hmm,
feel like it's more in reverse, where they're when I think about like white groups and stuff like that, I think about like the nerds and the weirdos, like the
mm-hmm,
e-girl and then the boy that's a simp and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
They act like it's their friends, but at some point one of them turns. Like the girl just wants to own the guy other than a friendship. You know what I mean? Like fetishes and shit. Or when it's even regular cheerleader football team, they're not friends. They're all fucking.
I mean, but like still, like, you think so? I don't know.
I
I
think
don't know
so.
because I feel like maybe
Like I feel
maybe
like
I don't
race
know.
has nothing to do with it. Like it's
You think
just
it's just like
gender,
a
yes,
regular
and as a
biological thing?
society thing. It's a society thing. Because men are trained, bred, or like from an early age to think women are objects, something to sexualize, somebody to be in the kitchen to prepare
Mm-hmm.
for you. So it's like from a very young age, and they see that at home. They don't necessarily interpret it like, oh, you know, mommy's always taking care of you, so I gotta find a mommy
Right.
to take care
That's
of
what I'm saying.
me.
I feel like it's like a unconscious
Yes.
like you're basically like I don't know, you're kind of like setting them up for something. You're setting them up for this expectation. So it's like obviously when you go out in the world, you're not necessarily prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we've definitely talked about this before, and I feel like that happens like with a lot of like single mothers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, I guess it's the same thing if you have a dad and they're still in the family, but
Even if you're a female, I feel like even if your parents have a healthy relationship, growing up, I still feel like you're gonna see that like, oh, you know, my daddy takes care of my mom, so I need to find a guy like that. But the difference between in women and men is that we know when it's gonna be like this person is not the one. You know what I'm saying? Like we try with multiple relationships. Instead, men, they either focus on one or go on like a freaking slut spree or something. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, I'm a piggyback off of that. That
Like
was a whole thing.
we
I
actually
had
date.
that
Men
realization.
just have sex.
Yes.
We date. We
Yes.
try to date.
I've been stumbling upon this whole thought of like, do men even love? Like,
oh man, that's a question to discuss.
I've definitely been thinking upon that because it's like in relationships. Let's say you know I'm in a committed relationship. My partner cheats on me. I decide to leave them. You know, even if I decided to stay for a little bit and I still left or whatever, I will learn from that hurt and I will elevate no matter what.
You should.
For men, on the other hand, it's not necessarily like that. She
No.
left or whatever. She didn't necessarily
Cool.
understand.
On to the next one.
And you're begging her to basically see that you can change. So maybe somewhere along the lines, you do not necessarily change, but realize that this individual was, you know, going all out for you, you know? And it's like it causes you to elevate up a little bit more. Why does it always have to take men hurting women for them to realize and elevate without that man? And why does that separation to the man always impact them more than when they were together? That shit never, like, it's like, I feel like that's the gap to me. It's like men have to realize that without a woman there, you're literally not accomplishing as much as you thought that you were accomplishing.
Literally.
And it's like, I don't know how you didn't see that when y'all were together, how much, you know?
I mean, like, I feel like that's it. Are they capable of? I feel like yes, but very few. And that's when the imbalance comes in because I feel like personally to have a successful relationship, the guy has to be a little bit more obsessed, a little bit more in love than the girl. I just feel like if the girl is more obsessed or going more above and beyond than the guy, it just never ends well.
I feel like honestly, it may never end well because of like a plethora of reasons. Like interest or not, I feel like people are just people, and I feel like I don't know. Men just have like a certain
what they got
way about them that is just not necessarily understood by women. Like, you know, I feel like
they don't even understand themselves.
They don't, because it's like a woman can. It's very easy for women to like intellectually feel what a man needs. That's where our our innate desire to want to nurture and want to fix you and want to help you and all of that shit stems from. So it's like, if you can't even understand yourself, what the fuck you want me to do for you? Fuck we here for? That's all that I'm saying. So it's just like that's really the gap to me. It's
we really lived life, bro.
Yeah, we
really lived life.
It's like you either trying to elevate with me or you fucking
out of the picture,
like just
because now, like at our age, we not accepting none of that unemotional availability,
right. Yeah.
no bullshit. Like, you gotta come to me full package.
Yeah,
you feel me? Because I'm coming full package. I know myself. I love myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stuck on past relationships.
Right.
So it's like, do me the courtesy of coming to me correctly, how I'm trying to come to you correctly.
And I feel like in this day and age, it's so crazy. I mean, I guess certain men of stature or whatever. Yeah. I don't know them. I don't know their personality. Mm-hmm. But I've been, seeing a lot of stuff on just in general.
Yeah.
That a lot of men are like hiring their standards and not accepting, women and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do like certain things that they require, whatever. And for me, it's just like, what are you necessarily doing or bringing into their life that you're hiring your standard? What standard did you have before? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel confused. Like the biggest thing right now is money.
I feel like that was then. I feel like the biggest
thing that's now. Was that is now. These men do not want to pay for these girls' dates, nothing. They think everybody's a gold digger. They're calling us pretty bums. But y'all was moving into the girls' houses first.
Yep.
Now we pretty bums.
Jobless, all of that.
When you're in the club every Friday, Thursday, Tuesday night?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No. Like, their standards were shit to begin with.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like now
they want a woman that's full, like 20 years into their career, good salary. Like, of course, yes, dual income is fine. But 90% of the time, women want to find men to be taken care of. Like, that's it. I ran my course. Mm-hmm. I did my business. We could still, have the business while we married and shit. But I want to have kids, or I want to be a stay-at-home thing. Like, whatever. These strong, independent women, some of them, when they're alone, they just want to be taken care of. Like, nobody wants to work. Like, nobody wants to work. Love or hate your job, nobody wants to work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So it's like men hiring their standards. What exactly is it that women weren't offering before? Because we've been offering the same thing for generations, time and time again. And time again, it has proven that men have not been hiring a standard. You should be hiring a standard on how the fuck you treat me. Like, no, be for real, because it's like you're hiring your internal standard, and I fucking commend you for that. So when you come to me, you better come correct, because I'm always going to be coming to my man correct. Are you fucking kidding me? That's my nigga.
Yes.
But it's like, it's like I got something next to me. I have something attached to me. That's not even holding me down. That's not even respecting me, uplifting me, doing all of that. But you want me to take care of you. You want me to be a housewife and take care of the kids and just basically lose myself in my life for you. For what marriage? What marriage? What loyalty?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's you want to have to do that willingly.
To look for a woman that will do all of that shit for you, but it's like you can't even give me the bare minimum. What are you hiring your standards for? Bro, to do what?
They be talking about tax brackets, Cheesecake Factory.
Like, bro, it was never even fucking. It was, bro. And then, and if you got kids, take care of your fucking kids, bro.
And bro, there's casualties on both sides. Yes, there are shitty men, but there are horrible women. Horrible women. We are not excusing nobody's behavior. Like, it's on both sides. And unfortunately, you will encounter these type of people maybe even more than once in your life. God bless you if you haven't. Mm-hmm. God bless you. God speed to you, my friend, because it's coming. People be sneaky And this is not even a gender thing. This is just a
Yeah, it's not.
mentality
Like
thing.
it really is a
And
mentality thing.
it just leaves me in
It's a
shock.
societal issue that goes on.
Like, it's sad to see. And yeah, it does happen. Obviously, we can't control everything. Nobody can. And I feel like that's where the gap is. Like, both sides focus on the bad. You know, there's not enough good put out there about women or about men. You know, because at the same time, women still are to this day feeling oppressed, and technically, I feel like we are.
Yeah, because
We can't be president.
We are.
Why?
No,
Why can't we be president?
In every single space, women are not accepted, and it's like I feel like people get
Or limited.
tired.
They're limited.
Yeah, they get so tired of women having to speak about this shit over and over again.
Mhm.
Because why the fuck is this shit still an issue? You know what I mean? Like people want to throw stuff in our face or whatever, but it's like, be for real. You sitting at home as a man having this thought, why is this bitch even having the space to even spit that nonsense?
Yes,
right? Correct.
Yes.
It's okay if you feel like that, but I'm just saying, where does that come from? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? From? Like, where does it stem from? I'm not blaming you for thinking like that. I just want to understand. I just want to know.
It's how everyone says.
It's like you're hindering me, and you're hindering, like, well, not me specifically, me, but you're hindering me.
A gender.
But it's like you're hindering a whole process.
Everything
like
is taught. Everything is taught.
Absolutely.
This person saw it somewhere. They experienced it at home. Mm-hmm. It's taught. They don't just come up with it out of thin air. Even if they consume it through the TV, it's the person who put that shit on TV's fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like just
these big corporations and these
whole, so it's like it's not necessarily you know the parents, because parents aren't hovering over their kids 24/7. They slip, especially now when kids as young as 5-year-old are on the internet.
Yep.
They're on YouTube unsupervised. Yep. You want your kid to stop crying, throw a tablet at him. Mm-hmm. So it's coming from them, I feel, also being exposed early on.
Yeah. And everything is so sexualized.
Yes.
And especially for like little boys and I mean little girls too. As both. Yeah, everybody.
And in this content creating world,
you get all of this sexual desires at a young age.
And using
you question yourself and your sexuality and your everything. The whole thing is just jumbled in that whole
it's sad.
Throwing a lot of sexual stuff to children. And it's like it's really just
it's weird at this point.
It's weird. Like this whole world is weird to me, bro. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with not one fuck of a thing. And I'm trying to get the fuck up out of here, bro. So if y'all know anybody that could get me up off of Earth, holla at your girl, bro.
The astronaut.
Bro, somebody, anybody, I don't even care. Just get me up out of here. It's getting real ghetto. Like,
oh, real ghetto.
I'm tired of it.
Me too.
Tired of it. Like that conversation was so draining. Like I don't even know why. And I feel like we didn't even touch the surface. But
no, of course not. There was so much more.
Yeah, I feel like we'll probably talk about this again. But anyways, y'all be safe out there, and yeah, be safe out there. It's a crazy world, guys.